Summer, make my days long. Fuck up a bitch, nigga, in my day clothes. Asking questions, all my friends are fake hoes. Double on no triple six, your topic list. Used to do it, now to find no double shit. If he don't shut the hoe, he's not my friend. He playing greedy with the bitch, come get your man. Do right activity. Do right activity. Do right activity. Do right activity. Big stench. 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 I'm big rich. Go run that comma through your mama, ho. You know I'm crazy, that's my mama, ho, ho. You know I get it from my mama, ho. Don't talk to your mama crazy, ho. Have a baby, ho. Give me poppin' in my head. Now while I'm playing, don't be eyeballing your sister, ho. Smoking mystical, the hoe getting physical. More like scissoring. Kiss a dick on Mr. Ring. Keep the wrist, keep the ring. Keep my tangerine. Right activity. Do right activity. Do right activity. Do right activity. Big stench. 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 Do right activity. Do right activity. Right, hey.
Oh, what on earth is going on? A lot of electricity here when we start the show. A lot of feedback. Lots of energy, lots of vibes. Thank you guys. Rachel, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah. What's going on, Ray? What's happening? Got the vibes going. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's 222 episode. Wow. If you want to play some frequencies on your phone just to have them in the background, eating fettuccine Alfredo, that is a great way to start your day. Now, is it fettuccine from last night? Did you make it hey, what's going on, Queen? Shouts out to all the Fashion Week homies. Bam. Right? Shouts out to all the Fashion Week homies. Definitely gotta link and connect. Alex. Boom. No, I bought it. Where'd you get it from? That's what we want to know. So, yes, give us the details. We're jumping through portals with fettuccine Alfredo. Woo. All right. And if you guys saw today's earlier reading, right, we got the Thunder Beings card. What are y'all doing right now? We are celebrating. And if anybody is interested in a reading, we are doing readings for what? Free 99. Because thank you guys for tuning in. We just want to say thank you for sharing your... You can be anywhere in the world right now and you choose to be with us. It means a lot. So if you would want a reading for what? Free 99 for the 222 portal. If you are wanting to donate, you are more than happy to do so. Right? So that part. So we're doing readings, we're vibing out, doing the astrology, all those things. So again, thank you guys for tuning in, sharing your energy. How are you guys experiencing this new moon energy? Shouts out to the Pisces. Alex, you're a Pisces, right? I believe so. So I'm going to say happy birthday season for all the Pisces. I hope they enjoy their season. We don't know where Pisces season is on the list of top seasons as our favorite seasons. But we will say that it's a vibe. And we talked about this a lot yesterday. The importance of Pisces energy, of feeling the energy, creating a vibe, being themselves authentically, and all of those things. So thank you guys again. Let's just get a card just to see where we're starting at. Then we'll pull the astrology up and all those things, right? Boom. Oh, 10 of Wands. So Pisces, you guys can definitely relate. A lot of people can relate to this card. The 10 of Wands is just being overwhelmed. And I see it in reverse because I think we're starting to take a bit of the energy off, take a bit of the load off from feeling so overwhelmed with kind of everything, you know, whether it be the stress, this, relationships, past trauma. And it goes a lot with the Thunder Being card, where we're talking about usable energy, where the things that are stressing you out can then turn into a motivating factor. So don't necessarily, I guess, give up, yet figure out a way for it to make sense. If, for instance, I met this guy when I was on trail, and he had like a very advanced CC. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Very advanced form of Parkinson's, or like shaking and things of that nature. Couldn't sit still. One of the conditions that he had. Yet, when I met him, it was again out on the trail, and he was saying that in a 9 to 5 society or a regular society or something like that, he wouldn't necessarily fit in because he can't sit still, he can't hold, or necessarily he can hold a pen, but not on the way that everybody else wants him to, do these things. But when he comes out on the trail, once he wakes up, he can't stop moving, right? So he gets up at like 5 a.m. He has to move. So now he's in a place where he can move literally until his body, chills out, like, oh, I'm so tired, I need to rest. So now I'm going to set up tent, And then once I wake up and I got to get going, then I can start hiking. So now he goes into a world that's like 9 to 5, not really excelling in that, to the hiking world where he's crushing the best hikers, He's doing 30-mile days, which are crazy. Speedrunners do like 50, 70, something like that. They don't have packs on and anything of that nature. And to have someone with their full pack still do like around 30 is incredible. So really the reason we're sharing this story is because let's figure out what the energy is. Is it anxiety? Is it, depression? Is it, we're scared? Are we excited? What is it exactly that we're feeling? So then we can alchemize the energy accordingly. Boom. 9 of Pentacles. So there you go. We go 10 to Wands to 9. So that's even more interesting because we know that's what makes tarot really exciting is all the signs. We went from 10 and we went to a 9. What's going on, Lothario? Because we're figuring out the just right spot. Something that's interesting is like when we started out doing tarot, or let's say community homes and all that stuff, we started out and we were like, all right, everybody's going to be here and pull up, and everybody pull up. This. All right, everyone pulled up, and it turned out we would then have a lot of problems, right? Now we've fallen back a little bit. We put in ourselves first and maybe our dreams first before other people's problems. Not necessarily saying that, other people aren't important. It's just what we've learned is that, you can only do so much for others, and you can't do for others when your cup is empty, right? Because that doesn't make sense. How are you going to take care of anyone else when you aren't taking care of yourself? So one more card, we'll wrap it up and get to our next part. Another 9. So we're going to stay here at 9, right? Because I feel we're getting our confidence back. I think good morning, we'll tune back in. There you go. We're putting in the work, and we're here, right? So Stella getting their groove back. I feel that when you've constantly been beaten up or been knocked down, it's hard to be motivated to get back up, especially when you don't see the fruits of your labor, right? You're like, I don't see the point in this. I'm suffering. Not enjoying myself. I'm not enjoying this process. And what do I get from it, right? These are the things that we have to ask ourselves. If we were enjoying the process, would we be so... You ever been out to eat at a restaurant and you're just talking, you forget the order, you forget to even look at the menu. The server came back about like 50 times. Hey, you guys ready to order? And you're like, oh man, I've just been so vibing and talking, that we forgot, you know. And then there's other times where you're so hungry that the server's taking forever and and you're ready to eat right now and all that. Are we necessarily enjoying the process of going out to eat and this, that, and the other when we're so focused on the end result? You know, that happens to me so much when I try to take orders. I'm pretty sure that happened when you were helping us, you know. So we get it because we were vibing out and you came up. We were like, oh snaps, we need to order something. And I think we just ordered a little bit of everything because it just makes it simpler for ourselves, whether or not it is. That's funny. But yeah, that's really what we're feeling this spicy season. Yep. And that's how we became friends. Shouts out to taking forever on the orders, right? So also, let's not take forever on bringing this astrology up, right? See where the moon is at. We got a little sliver of the moon, which was awesome. If anyone's been moon watching, pretty cool, pretty cool. The moon is now in Aries, Mercury, and Aquarius. Venus also in Aries. So love is in the air, especially Pisces. Pisces are lovers for sure. Pisces like to be loved or like the idea of love. But there's actually a ton of freaking Aries placements right now. Not only do we have Venus, the moon, we also have Jupiter in Aries. So things to take note. Pluto actually in Capricorn now, right? Aries is in the moon, right? Yes. And Aries is in the moon in our new van cover art. So there's that one too, for sure. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, definitely everywhere. Been feeling the pup a lot. Just so many adventures with Aries, and now we're like in this part of our lives, and I don't know, it's just it's different, you know. And I feel like there's part of me that wants to make it like worth it, you know, like, oh man, we've lost this much or this and this, that we need to make it worth it. And I don't know, it's just like it's really kind of difficult a little bit. He will send you another four-legged friend when he thinks y'all ready. Yeah, I think so. Because right now this is not a time for a four-legged friend. Just being honest, we're doing so much, and I was thinking about that of like, yo, if like we can't take Aries to the places that we want to go to, like, you know, the places, the bar, the club, the fashion week stuff, all of those things where we're at are very loud for Aries, or just not necessarily the vibe for the Papacito. And you know, he would not want to be left at home, so he was like, I'm gonna come with you guys for sure, one way or another. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're gonna pull a card for Aries right now. Since I think we understand what Pisces is saying, then we're gonna get to our 222 portal, um, which will be fun to talk a little bit about love, and we can go a little bit about numerology and give you guys a little, quick lesson. So a lot of people forget to count the number zero. Zero is still a number, right? Before you get one, what do you have? Motherfucking zero, right? So zero is somewhat of that infinity. It's like the start and the end, you know. It's like the universe, you know. What is, before the one, before the planet? You have the black, you have the darkness, you have black matter. So zero is a big symbolism of that, creation and destruction. Then you have one, which is, that Aries energy, that trailblazer, that fire, that, that's self. That's a lot of times people would say it's our ego, because it's that initial fire that gets you going, right? But also how it's explained is that fire can only get you so far. Your own self, your knowledge, before you can receive knowledge from other people, the knowledge that you've gained on your own can only get you so far. Eventually you're going to have to team up with someone else, and that's where you get two. Two is, duality, partnership. How do you work in a group dynamic, right? If you're seeing a lot of two energy, especially this portal, like we've even been saying with the Six of Pentacles, is how do you work in a group dynamic? A lot of times, like Tauruses thrive on group dynamics. They thrive with a partner. Some people don't necessarily thrive with a partner. Some people might feel that this might slow them down. This might hinder. Some people might like a partner every now and, maybe not someone there every single day, but someone once a week, right? These are the questions you ask yourself moving forward. That what does a group dynamic look like? What does my dreams look like? How in a community, what what is my role, and how do I communicate with others? And that's a big important part of this portal. Before we go into the rest of the year, is how is that looking like? Are we creating the foundation for that? And that's the thing about, people say psychics and future and all that stuff. It's, if that you're going to be hungry in the fall and you plan to sleep in the spring, that's holding the vision for the future. That's creating your foundation for the future, and you might not get the results right away, but you planning ahead and envisioning yourself, envisioning what, your role in the world looks like is, important. And, what do we want this year to look like? What do we want to accomplish? You gonna say anything? You don't even put your headphones on?
I'm more than happy to chime in. I was just speaking your piece. What does it look like for you?
Are you gonna put your headphones and use the microphone?
What does that look like for you?
What does what look like for me?
You're saying that this portal is after one knowing yourself and having experience with yourself. And what does how does it look like for you working in a collective, working in a group? What is we say all these words and things, but what is it actually like what does the portal actually mean, and like, day to day, how are you experiencing it in your life?
Um, I think moving truthfully in my heart and following the intuition, or the emotions that I'm feeling, putting that first and trusting in the vision that God has laid before me. I think before I was more blind or eager to believe in whatever.
And what?
Just others, like, I think for like years it's like this, it's like I don't know, you feel this energy, and once you feel good, you're like, oh, we're gonna put everyone on, or how can we teach others, or how can we do this and how can we do that. And I feel that this portal, I'm more focused on how can I improve myself to get where I want to go and inspire others to do the same.
So the same.
Huh?
Is that kind of the same? Like you feel good and then you want to share it with others.
No, what I'm like feeling good, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go teach someone how to DJ. I'm going to do this and do that. And I feel like that's the thing, like even being at like the House of Hits and improving upon myself, is that like, yo, I have so much that I got to learn, and so many things that I still got to accomplish. And I feel that like the past, however, was like, oh, what ways can I teach others? What ways can I, help go back to Atlanta and put everyone on and all that stuff, where,
Do they not have the same opportunities and resources that you do?
Well, exactly. And that's how.
And they have your example. So some people just want to be where they are, and that's a beautiful thing. Everyone has the illusion of free will. You're choosing no matter what. It's just what choice are you making? Do I have the robot voice?
No, it's not active.
Oh.
Well, that's where I feel the balance, the justice card is coming in of
And you always say the thing about the fish in the pond. If you like, does Michael Jordan go back to his high school and say, "Hey guys, let's keep playing," or does he play with the professionals because they're playing on his level? Like his high school team can go watch him, or if they want to play like on his level, they can practice. Gracias.
yeah, I think that might have been.
Is it better?
Yeah. I think we can talk right into it like this.
Can I? Like that?
Yeah, it sounds way better.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Audio, visual, setup.
Well, I feel
Connoisseur.
like, because I was thinking about this, and like what you said about the high school thing and all that, it's like, I feel recently it's been like this energy of like, oh, you know, the things I'm asking for are like a lot or whatever. When in reality it goes like, for us to even be at this level, we have to play at this level, and for us not to play at that level, then why do we still want, you know, like the rewards of playing at a high level, you know? And I think,
No, you lost me.
well,
Is there like a metaphor or analogy or reframing of the sentence? Are you saying like you want to be Michael Jordan, great, but you don't want to go to the gym?
exactly. And a lot of people don't want to go to the gym, but they want Michael Jordan's yacht. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, I think how all the things come is when it's like the reverse, where it's like, oh, you enjoy working, you enjoy, you know, pushing yourself and trying hard, yet, you know, all these things come with it because you enjoy the process. This is what comes with it versus, oh, how do I get me one of those? Oh, I guess I gotta train hard and this and this. Well, you know, if that's the case, then are we gonna be motivated when it's tough? You know?
Well, that's the yes. There's people who just want the clout, like that show we were watching, the watered down Bad Girls Club.
Blue Girls Club.
They even admitted it, like they're just there for the clout, and like his premise was that he was helping them. And we've seen it, like when you study like the histories of all the greats before, a lot of them get to a certain level and then they like fall off, or I mean, isn't a lot of people like try something and then at least they'll try and then it's like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. But then it's like, no matter what, like if you don't have, that's what, like this is the question that's been going around since forever. If it wasn't for the money, and this is why, when you set your foundation of whatever you're gonna do, it's really freaking important that you're clear and honest with yourself. And it's okay if you need life experience to gain clarity, because life will give you that experience and you will get clarity. So you go Like that's all these contrasts are. That's why we're in this world of like polarities, so we can find out what fits us, what suits us, and what doesn't. And the thing is, like, we think that we make that decision forever, but it's really for just that moment, because then in the next moment you have a whole nother set of opportunities. Oh, that's with the nails. That's why you have the one. Oops, not even.
Third time's the
Hey,
charm.
I'm gonna get that wave. So, you like, that's like relationships.
What's up?
Longer. You gotta. What's up?
What's up?
Shake it, shake it. There you go. And then it's like, what if you don't have to go to a vocal coach? Like, you don't have to go and pay money that you have to work hard for and sacrifice. Like, vocal lessons could just be here on Instagram. We just, or whatever the hell, you know. Or we sing because someone asked, you know. Like, and then I'm sure there's a bunch of people out here that know about singing and can give us some pointers. So yeah, you get that experience, you get clarity on what you want, and then it's like, that's why New Van, whether you think it sounds weird, I don't really care. The fact that that song, we made it when we were like this close to maybe not killing each other, but it was like, we, you know when you're just at the point where like, I don't even know, and just like everything else, it was just that. And we decided we're gonna write a song, and you know, and then to go to the House of Hits and all the shit that's gonna happen with the song and the other music, because then that inspired your other song that has become this. So it's like, it's not even just that, like, this is a huge movement because we decided, when we felt resistance, we didn't say fuck this or whatever. We said, hey, remember what we learned when we were meditating? Remember what we learned when we went to spiritual class? Remember what that person told us? Remember what that reading said? Remember what the card said? The stars are telling us, they're not predicting the future. They're giving us a read on now. It's like a thermometer. You are the thermostat, however, so you can set the vibe. It's just telling you, like, these cards right now, if we read them again and we change up the energy, you know they're going to be different. You know, so we could do a reading at the beginning and at the end, and then be like, woo! It might 1 minute be like, Devil, Tower, like, and then as soon as you are like, hey, I let that shit go, I processed it, because we can process that stuff energetically, and we can, like, let go. Remember that, like, we experience these things to experience them and process, and then let them go back into the earth with consciousness, and share our experiences with others, so that everyone else can kind of like, that's like the golden nuggets in all these, you know, in our energy and like music. That's why it's really cool when you feel all this shit to then make art, because that's just so profound. And that's like, I feel like, why art exists. It's not so we can judge each other or you make it to a magazine. And it's cool if you want to make a magazine, but let's not forget why we make art. It's not to make it to the magazine. It's because it's like oozing out of you. Like, you in this moment are orgasming with this energy that you need to share. Like, you know, when you have good sex, you're so fucking happy. You want everyone else to experience this. It's like, just like that, you know? Just gotta make a hit. So it's when we hold it in that then we feel depression, and then we, you know, no one told us the short answer on that. So then we're like, oh my God, I have a disease. And it's, no, boo-boo. Like, you're good. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of specialness. And you didn't come here to fit in a box or to be told that it's worthy or not worthy. So, I forget why we started on this path. But, and, you know, life will shift you into it. Because, like, that's what I learned through van life and traveling. you take you wherever you go. So then you just start to have the same experiences everywhere you go, because that's just you. Like in all of us, just like we're feminine and masculine, in all of us there's a certain Capricorn factor that we can relate to, that Capricorn energy. Like in some of us we have that, like, you know, and it's cool when we recognize it in others, because we also, that means we have it within ourselves. So if you, yeah, it's just that part. And then you direct the focus, so then you choose like what range you're on. And now, because we decided in that energy to like, hey, we can alchemize this, what else can we alchemize, you know? And it's like some of the shit is scary, and like some of the shit is hard and like probably feels impossible, or is like really makes you feel vulnerable. But you can totally like shine the light on any aspect. I call them like the rooms of your houses. Like we all have that one drawer that we just keep putting things away, and we're like, we never have to deal with this. Or that one day, you know. And then Pisces season happens, and then all of a sudden it is that day, and that drawer is just like, yo, I need your attention.
Yeah, that's definitely Pisces season. The drawer bust open. You're like, whoa, I didn't know I had all this stuff in here. These are where the clothespins are. Whoa. I think that's what the benefit of a water season is like, slow down and feel all these things that you've been ducking away. And
like nurture your spirit. You're like, Pisces are they're very sensual, in that they really, like you were saying yesterday about your friend, like they wholeheartedly, like all of it, you know, we need water to survive. And just imagine that's like Pisces energy, very nourishing and wholesome. Get a massage.
oh my God.
I have, you know, it's funny, in Miami, I have friends that they're a couple, and they're Pisces, both of them. They've been together since like high school, and they both do massage therapy.
And two little fishies.
Yeah. So if you're in Miami, Aya Apothecary, I think it is. They're two Pisces with a beautiful family. Did you meet them? James? You met James, but...
No, I met James, yeah.
The family, not yet. They're the ones that took the Freewater reality television show in. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Make sure you like, subscribe, you know, hold that vision, because just one person believing in you is all it takes for your shit to come true. It's been proven. One person holding that vision for you, you know, that's worth more than gold.
Yeah, that part. Definitely filming tons of stuff, building the team.
Yeah, slowly accumulating other show members and waiting for other show members to become available.
I think that's just being more candid. I wanted to do the reality show, and there's a lot of things I want to do. You know, I'd film that shit myself.
We need a
hey,
camera
check
person.
out the latest. What's up with Chief? Oh my gosh, yeah, Chief release date possibly on Monday. So that's our big update. I was meaning to post about that. But yeah, Chieftain possibly getting a release day Monday. We may know the appeal has been sent in, right? Like Gucci Mane, the appeal, right? So yeah, we'll see. Monday we need all the good vibes to go towards it. Yeah, free that man for sure. So yeah, we're fingers crossed holding the vision for Chief to get out and then hop back on with us. Yeah, I guess that's another thing too, where I guess maybe the things haven't worked out because it's like, yeah, there are certain things like the reality show or shooting the video for New Van and all that stuff, prosecuting and imprisoning people over plants that naturally grow out of the ground. Exactly.
Well, a lot of what they do is just like not.
How do you make a plant illegal? It's ridiculous. Yeah, that's what's pretty interesting about all of this, and where I kind of I don't know, I was getting the download of, when we do this, get this appeal, how big of a step this is for consciousness. And there's like a part of me that kind of glosses over that because disappointed about the reality show, just being honest. Well, not necessarily, because we still have the opportunity to do a reality show. It's the let's say with I guess the thing about myself is like Luna says, it's always like throwing someone deep into the water, right? Like, yo, here's the drone, like film this, and you got to do this and this button. Now, with that being said, not everyone can do that. Not everyone can play at the the level that is necessarily envisioned, but that's okay. And that's what we're necessarily like learning is that to work with the pieces that you have available, instead of and that takes being honest with yourself. It's like, okay, is this possible with, it's like playing Texas Hold'em or poker or something like that. If you have this card, right, it's either you can bluff with it, or you play to your strengths. You might fold, might take another hand, play those cards. But I guess taking the time, and I feel that with Chief getting back and having the full team to kind of like move or whatnot, then it would be definitely time to execute on doing our own reality show and things of that nature. But I do feel that the YouTube is really good step process. We've been getting better, with our content, and going like, yo, maybe this isn't exactly like this on TV, but it's getting pretty close, with our own skills and X, Y, and Z. I'm about to go grab the charger. I'll be right back.
But with that said, aren't we incorporating a new standard? And so because if it's reality TV and we're going to be real with it, because if we're going to do a scripted thing, then I'm not calling it a reality show. Then it's a scripted show. And if our whole premise is like we're just real, and then like even in the art you can see the progression,
But I feel the real part is the appeal. The fact that I was saying that we worked together with the lawyer to come up with something really good. And for us to do our part with, establishing ourselves as the organization, Freewater organization, our own religion, freedom of mind, body, and spirit, and then teaming up with someone who, really speaks the lawyer talk or legal things. And I think that's a big step. And especially, creating friends in the, Jewish community, because it's not going like, oh, we're being, persecuted like the Holocaust or things like that. It's just going that, you have your religion, right? And you don't want to be discriminated against. So we have our religion, and we don't want to be discriminated against. And that's really the beauty of Freewater, is we're not out here attempting to make enemies. You know, even with the government for their wrongful prosecution and how we've been treated, we're going, hey, maybe, you know, maybe we might be, you know, so caught up with the paper and laws and things of this nature that we forget what's really right and what's wrong, because we stopped critically thinking a long time ago. You know, the world teaches you how to stop thinking critically, you know, and how to do what you're told even if it doesn't make sense. You know, you're following orders. And I was thinking about this too, because I was like, man, I wonder why I was able to work so many hours and just keep going. But like now with what we're doing, it's like it's, you know, really you know, energy consuming. And I realized is that when I was working for someone else, I didn't know a lot of the times, and I didn't have to know. I was just there, right? You know, someone, and you can be like, oh, I don't get paid enough to know, or whatever. Like if you're sitting in construction and they're like, hey, just sit right here. And oh, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for the truck. And what's on the truck? I don't know, you know. And what are we building? I don't know. I'm just doing what I'm point over here. I'm gonna go turn these things over here. I'm gonna drive over here. And you know, even in those times, you can just like kind of zone out and be in your own world and just vibe out, because you can either follow someone in front of you or all these different things that when you're working in like a larger environment, like you can be like, hey, what's going on? But for when you're like in an entrepreneurial, like creating a path that hasn't been created before, your mind is always like trying to figure it out. You know, your mind is always trying to figure out what the next move is. And you know, how to one, get there, how to execute, how to stay there, how to maintain whatever it is. So it's real like interesting, like allowing myself to rest more than I would have rest than when I was working construction, doing the staging and all that stuff. Because I'm always like, dude, 16-hour days, used to do that all the time, 24-hour shift, and then still go out, you know, and turn up and all that shit. And me now, it's like funny because I'm like, me now at 30, I was like literally 24, so it wasn't that long ago. But to be able to work a job where you're lifting things and all that shit, fucking shower and then go out to downtown Nashville or go pull up New Orleans, be outside with it and go on all sorts of adventures and shit. And yeah, it's I don't know, it makes me smile. It's funny because even when I was going out, I would always have my camera and I would film the food and shit. And they'd be like, Horace, why are you always fucking filming the food? Why don't you just eat it? And I said, one day this is going to pay off. I'm not going to be at this job forever. Always said that. I was like, even if I film, I don't know what I'm using this footage for, but I'm going to get this motherfucker and it's going to look good. And one day it's going to pay off. So here we are today, where it's like all those years of kind of like even just practicing or holding the vision, you're closer to it. And I think that's the thing too, that a lot of people don't necessarily see. You know, they don't see how, you know, much goes into it. Like we were talking about with the practicing and rehearsals and all that shit, you know? Oh, computers. All right. Hopefully it came back. It came back for sure. But yeah, it's just like a whole process. And I think that's the thing that the 222 portal is addressing. because it's like, what are you talking about? Like creating the future by now? Like, what does that mean? You know, it means that I was, you know, a supervisor at, you know, the concert staging job where there was only a couple people above me as far as the office goes and things of that nature. And I remember that I wanted to do more camera gigs, and they even set me up on a camera gig, and then they paid me lower than my like usual rate because they were like, oh, this is like, you're a new camera person. And I was like, dude, I was a camera person before I started working for you guys. So it's kind of insulting to give me an introductory rate, right? And at that moment, I realized that, you know, people always have their best interest, right? Especially a company is always going to have their best interest. Yet a lot of the times they use the word family and community to motivate people, but at the end of the day, we all know that is a business, right? And at that time, I remember having the conversation with my supervisor and just being like, all right, like, okay, like, I'll see you guys later, you know? And I was working every day for like a year. And even on my days off, they call you in and then you get overtime for being called in. So then it's like run it up type shit. And that's when I made the unusual video, if you want to see it on our YouTube, where I like animated it and I took like 3 months off, right? And
It took you 3 months to make that video.
yeah, it gave me a hemorrhoid.
Well, we know the cure for hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do this video in how long?
Well, the unusual video was like animated.
I know, but this, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It took me a day to do the Mad Hot video. So that's where I've changed like my perceptions. Because I was like, man, I did the Mad Hot video and then I did an unusual video and I get the same amount of views. So, but the reason, like all the is a good story because it goes into all the alchemy and all that shit. Because all that anger that I was feeling from my job, I then put it into the work, and I decided that I was going to have the first Freewater Fest where we, you know, raise awareness for, you know, injustice against, you know, clean water and shit like that. And yeah, I did that, released the video, and I went back to work and I was just like, this is not the vibe. And yeah, they kept trying me that day, and I just told them to eat my ass. Like, literally, I was like, yo, eat my ass. And I fucking signed the sign-out sheet, and I said, I still want to get paid for the time I was fucking here. And I left. And all that energy, like, oh my God, did you just fucking do that? And I really did tell them to eat my ass. Like, a lot of times you say it in your head, but that time I said it out loud. And, and I was like, fuck. Like, I really, like, we didn't burn the bridge. We blew that bitch up with dynamite. We kaboom. Like the burn, you can probably put some water on it. Like, say, hey, walk on that side of the bridge. Skip that rung. You know, that shit. No, we blew that bitch up. All right. And with that energy, it was like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? And I remember I just wanted to do tarot all day. I just want to sit and do tarot. And I realized that I can sit and do tarot outside, you know. It'll literally be the same thing. I said, if I take all the books that I'm reading now and just go sit outside, what's the difference to me being in my house versus being outside, you know? And I'll just have a sign. It'll say tarot, spirituality. It was really funny because before I would like chalk the sidewalk and it'll be like tarot and this, and I'll spend all the time chalking to then sit down, and then the police will come up and be like, you can't solicit and you can't, you know, write on the ground with chalk and you're advertising, and it's like, what the fuck? So it's just funny because I would do so much and like make it this grand thing. I remember I had like one of those poster boards for like the science experiments type shit, and I used to put a hole and like tie it on my back, and like it looked like I had a big ass fucking flap wing or some shit, and I would open it up and it'll be like, what is tarot? And I cut out little pictures and fucking tarot is this, and this is this, and chakras are this and shit like that. And so the moral of the story is just, you know, all the energy you're feeling, like put it in, when you put it into her something, like you were saying, like with Shakira, yo, she just went through the breakup, she's putting in her music.
Sage did it, Shakira did it. It has nothing to do that she's a multi-mega whatever the hell, because Sage was relatively unknown and then he became known. The formula works. So watch it work for us, because I put all the magic sauce in that song. And we always have our cards with us. So if you see us, if you find us, if you want a reading in person in NYC, we are here. We can travel to your local bodega in exchange for chopped cheese.
Mm-hmm. We would definitely be outside.
We'll work for chopped cheese.
With it.
It's just, I think that, because I was thinking that too. I was like, am I an old lady? Like, what has happened to me? I love going out, like, and I'm like, I would rather play video games. And it's just that at this moment in time, that is your ping, and that's okay. And if there were a party to go to, you would feel the urge to go, and you'll be there. It's just that right now the party is not happening. And trust that, like, the universe will direct you. The universe can bring you together with someone on the other side of the world in a matter of an instant. Like, you decided it's happening. J Balvin could be walking around the corner. Whom else? Michael Jordan, he was just here. It was his birthday. You know, like anybody, right? It's happened. This has happened to me. I can tell you stories. You can tell us stories. And it's so true. So I just got high off my own supply at 12:12. Cheers. Like, we went to get coffee. We found out about the open mic. That just, you know, like, you hear these stories. Like, I heard Lady Gaga's story, how painful it was for her, that she, like, went through all the, like, she was bullied in high school. Like, they bullied her in NYC. She kept believing in it. And then she really had to struggle through all that. And for us in our my first open mic with Quartz, everyone was it felt like a kindergarten class kind of love. Like, you know, kids just creating and everyone doing the dance with you. They were not the mean fifth graders. It was very kindergarten, like, we all love each other. We're just here to share art with each other. And it's cool how we can rise like that. Or, like, in the studio, they didn't say, you suck, man, you don't even know what vocals are. They said, hey, like, if you try this, then you can improve. And isn't that, like, a beautiful thing? Because it's just a different way to experience life. So cheers to greatness with ease and grace.
Tarot pop-ups when the sun pop up, when the temperature pop up, the tarot pop-up will be there.
Or if there's chopped cheese.
Nah.
Yes,
nah.
you would. Shut up.
Outside?
Yes.
In the cold? For a chopped cheese?
Well, no, we don't have to be outside. Who said we have to be outside?
That's what it said, tarot
We'll just
pop-ups.
travel.
I'll pull up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got a tarot reading in someone's, like, hallway. It was so cold. And yeah. But yeah, exploring the boroughs. We're making our way towards Brooklyn.
Next week, potentially.
Eventually.
We have to first. We're not going anywhere until we experience the bachata of Bronx. So if you want to
BX.
dance,